What's up, dreadheads, fuckheads, and all you other horror movie loving freaks? I'm Jay, and welcome to another episode of Triple FMK, where we watch the horror movies and tell you if we'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. So, before I get into this episode, we're gonna take care of a little bit of house cleaning real quick. To clear a couple things up, I got hit up and asked about this one day this week. Fright Flick FMK was originally tied to Spread the Dread podcast with John and Joe. Me and John started up Fright Flick FMK underneath that podcast. Well, after we talked about it, and we have been discussing about breaking it off and making its own thing. So that's what we wanted to do. And it just so happened, it timed out just right where John and Joe were getting ready to start their they're moving and they got a lot going on. So it was just the right time to break it off. So the Fright Flick FMK is the one, if you listen to it on Spread the Dread podcast, same one. So we do have previous episodes. So on those previous episodes, you can go back and listen to the ones we had done on the Spread the Dread podcast. With the Fright Flick FMK, now its own podcast. Like I said, that was last week's, was the very first episode. So that's where we're at right now. We are our own podcast YouTube channel. So that way, if you're wondering, was this our first episode? It wasn't our first episode. Me and John had started this thing together. John taking his hiatus, getting ready to move and got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm covering down until he wants to jump back on here with me. That's why in the pictures that I've posted, of the show, it's me and John, me and my brother. He's my youngest brother. We started this show together. He reached out to me, and so that's why he's in the pictures with me. Even if he's just the guest, later on, if he decides he just wants to be a once in pop in every now and then do a show together, that's fine. But he will always be on the art. It's always John and Jay, because we started it together. So I just wanted to clear that up because there was, I had a friend of mine hit me up this week, kind of like, hey, where's the show at? And so it had moved now with its own podcast. I've been kind of new to setting up the whole podcast thing. So I have it set up through Podbean, where we are available on all the normal streaming podcasts, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitch, Podbean, of course. It's the little symbols are on the border of the show as you're watching it right now, or if you're listening to it. But yeah, that is what we have now for the show. We are available on, of course, BitChute. I have it set up there, and also the YouTube channel, so you can have live video of all of this. And if you're listening on the podcast, when I say all of this, I'm talking about me. One other thing to clear up on this is if you're listening to this to the podcast, every now and then you may hear me take a pause, and there'll be like a moment of silence. You may not hear nothing. Well, that's me taking a Gentleman and Jack break, because I am a big fan of the Gentleman Jack, and Gentleman Jack is with me on every episode. And as I pause at this moment to take a sip, thank you. That's what you may hear when I do this. But yeah, so go listen to us if you're on if you come across us somehow accidentally strolling through some fucking podcast or YouTube, and you see some random Fright Flick FMK pop up shit, you be like, what the fuck is this? Give us a listen, because we're not for everybody. I get that. I'm not a proper talking type of, I don't know how to explain it, because I'm just, like I said, South Carolina high school education. But not for everybody. Give us a listen. If you like it, got it. If not, then hey, I appreciate you at least giving us a chance. But stop on by, like, subscribe. I don't honestly know how to rate yet on like how this last episode has done. I'm new to this podcast thing. So I know there's a way you may be able to see if you have your uploads, downloads, whatever that fucking shit's called. But I'm not sure. But hey, if you stop by at any time and you gave a listen, if you gave a like, if you gave a 5-star Bob's Mess, hey, he reached out to me, left a 5-star, brother. I appreciate it. Bob's Mess Podcast. But he hit me up, left a 5-star. on Apple, and hey, I appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, it's just this is kind of all new for me, being on here by myself trying to wing this thing. So we're gonna keep on rolling with it. And I just love horror movies, and I love getting on here talking about horror movies. So that's what we're gonna do. But now that all that shit's out of the way, we're gonna talk about this movie. In this week's episode of Fright Flick FMK. On this show, we watch the horror movies, and I'm gonna tell you whether or not I'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. And on this episode, and last week's episode, I explained the whole how I rated on fuck it, marry it, or kill it. So, like I said, go back, check that one out. I explained it there. I'm not gonna waste y'all's time going back into it now. But on this episode, I'm going to jump into Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It is a 2023 British independent slasher film written and directed by, hey, this is the moment where I explain on the first episode. I'm going to butcher these names because you hear the way I talk. I'm Southern. I am from the South. And so a lot of these names, no matter how hard I try, if it's past the 4-syllable word, sometimes that's over my head. I'm used to like having to clap that shit out, I'm a 4-letter word type guy. Damn, shit, fuck, all that. But so the director of this is, and if somebody wants to jump on here and give me a little sound bite of how the hell to pronounce it, yeah, I welcome it. But Rise Frock Waterfield, director and written. Rise Frock Waterfield. And I can't even try to say that in a British accent. When you're this Southern sounding, you can't fake other accents because it just sounds even worse. But Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It is actually, I watched it on Amazon Prime. I rented it, and that's how I watched it. I know it's on Amazon Prime to rent. If it's on anything else at this moment, I honestly don't know. But if it is, then hey, go check it out. And so when I rate these things, I tell you how I rate them. I rate them on the story, the cast, and the kills. And I kind of touch on those. And like I said, I tell everybody this when I do the shows. Don't let me say however I feel about it at the end of this thing. Don't let me turn you away or change your opinion on wanting to watch it or anything. Because if you're like me, I love horror movies. I love them. Like I've scrolled through Tubi, I scrolled through Netflix, Hulu, Prime, anything, and I look for horror movies. And trust me, I have sat down and watched a ton of just shitty ass movies, but it's still horror, and I love horror movies. And if you're a horror fan and you love horror movies, you take the good with the bad. You're going to get some shitty ones. But like I said, if you want to pause this, whatever, go check out Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then come on back and listen to me talk about it. But we're going to jump into this thing right now because I've wasted your time, enough of your time with the other side of things. I just want to get here and talk shit and talk about horror movies. But I go into the cast on some of these. Some of this movie, once again, I butcher names. So before I get into this, we're going to go touch on the story. I grew up a Winnie the Pooh fan. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am. Damn it, fuck it. Yeah, I am. I'm proud of my age. I was born in 76. So I grew up with some Winnie the Pooh stuff. I remember having Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals. I remember having Winnie the Pooh clothes basket, like you put your dirty clothes in. I had that. And so I was a fan of Winnie the Pooh. So when this one came out, here I am a fan of horror. I'm a fan of Winnie the Pooh. So when this one came out, I'm like, hell yeah. I get my damn childhood little beanbag buddy, Winnie the Pooh, and a horror movie. So I had big hopes going into this one. So we're going to get into the story. The story in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This one starts you off. It gives you a little cartoon type way about it. And that I really enjoyed. I like how they kind of went cartoonish with it in the beginning. A little story of how Christopher Robin in 100 Acre Woods is out there with his friends. He's out there, Piglet, Winnie the Pooh, Owl, Tigger, Rabbit, and they're all kind of hanging out. And this little cartoon is like a little drawn out cartoon. So it shows them all. And Christopher Robin, they don't give it an exact age when he first started going out there, but apparently Christopher Robin was going out there. He was bringing them food and taking care of them, getting them stuff to eat. Got to be really close. Well, then Christopher Robin gets a little older. Christopher Robin is now ready to graduate and move on to college. So Christopher Robin leaves, and 100 Acre Woods leaves and is going off to college. Well, now Pooh, Piglet, and all the rest of them are left to fend for themselves. They apparently become, starving, needing food because Christopher Robin had taken care of them all this time. And in this movie, Christopher Robin is played by Nikolai Leon. Like I said, butchering it. So then, as when he leaves in the little cartoon drawing, it shows you that they are out there in the cold. Pooh and Piglet and them, they're struggling. I guess they forgot as animals how to go fend for themselves. They've gotten used to Christopher Robin bringing them shit every day. So it shows them kind of starving and dwindling away. Well, the next thing you know, the cartoon, it basically shows you poor old fucking Eeyore. They decide to eat Eeyore to survive. Like, just, grill him up. Little jackass. Eat him. Done. And they basically showed in this little cartoon that they do a little tombstone with Eeyore, and remember Eeyore had a little pin on tail, but they had the little tail kind of stuck to the little makeshift wooden tombstone on the thing, showing that they had to eat Eeyore to survive. And so during this time, they become like, they decide that they almost like hate humanity. They hate fucking Christopher Robin for running off and leaving them, and they're used to fending on their own. So they decide they're going to basically hate humanity. They're deciding they're not going to speak, and they're just got this thing out for humanity. And that's where the cartoon part all wraps that up. Well, then we're going to jump forward. We're going to jump forward a few years. Now, Christopher Robin is now graduated from college. Christopher Robin is married to Maria, who is played by Maria Taylor. And if you see me move up, it's because I'm having to read these names because I can't remember all of them. But yeah, they are married. They show up in the 100 Acre Woods, and Christopher Robin, I guess, has told her about his little childhood friends that are out here in 100 Acre Woods, and now he has come back, and he wants to find them and reunite with them, maybe. And so they show up in 100 Acre Woods. They're wandering around, and Maria, bless her heart, is trying to be supportive of Christopher Robin, because as well as I do, somebody said, hey, we're going to go out to the woods and look for these little childhood friends that I grew up with. One of them was a rabbit. One of them was a pig. We'd all be looking at each other like, fuck no, you're crazy. But, Maria, she was supportive. And they basically get out to 100 Acre Woods. They roam around. They come across this area where I guess Christopher Robin said this is where they all used to hang out, but now it looks so different. All the signs of this little outdoor little camping site they had set up just screamed to me like fucking Hills Have Eyes. Like, it was just, they had some like these weird looking little trailers, little pull behind trailers sitting out there, little fancy looking like treehouse thing set up, and you see a little big pot that kind of hit you like, oh, that's Winnie the Pooh's honey pot right there, and little jars of like empty honey and stuff like that. And so you're just thinking that shit. I don't know what you were thinking, but so Christopher Robin's there. He's looking for Pooh and Piglet and all of them because they're going to reunite, have this happy reunion. But what Christopher Robin don't realize is Piglet and Pooh are pissed off because you ran off and left them. They were used to you bringing them food. They had to fend for themselves. So throughout this storyline, Christopher Robin is reunited with Pooh and Piglet. No Rabbit, no Tigger. No owl, nothing like that. Just Pooh and Piglet. It gets reunited with them. Well, Pooh and Piglet, of course, is holding some hard feelings against Christopher Robin and anybody else that is not part of the animal kingdom, I guess. So the storyline gets you into Pooh, Piglet, basically going after Christopher Robin. I don't want to get into what kind of happened because the kills kind of come later. Um, they kidnap Christopher Robin, and then a group of girls are coming out to basically go on a vacation. There's a girl, I can't remember the names. I want to read off some of these names of the ones who played the girls. Natasha Rose Mills as Jessica, Amber Tomei as Alice, Danielle Ronald as Zoe, Natasha Tosini as Laura, and there's some other names. Paul, I can't pronounce them. Hey, I get these names off of IMDb. I get them off of Wikipedia. If you want to know the cast, if you want to know who they played, by all means, go check those sites out. They will give you the who they are and everything like that. You know, I feel bad sometimes because I feel like I'm butchering their names, but go check them out. A lot of stuff you get from IMDb, and that's why I said I'm not going to just keep butchering their names. But I think it is Jessica, Alice, Zoe, and Laura, I believe, are the ones. But they go out here on a getaway because one of them, therapist says she need to get away, take a little time. So they come out here, decide to go on vacation. How the hell they heard about 100 Acre Woods? I don't know. They go out here and they go to this house slash cabin thing, and they're up there kind of spending the weekend, little getaway. Well, after they're out there enjoying it, having a good time, well, then Pooh stumbles across them. He comes across, well, there's a friend who shows up late. Don't ever show up late if you're going on a camping trip out in the woods. I've seen enough horror movies. If you're that last one there, shit ain't gonna go well for you. Well, this one friend is late. She calls them up, and when they all decide when they get there, they decide that we're going to put our phones away. We're going to go off the grid. Let's just say they all decide to put their phones away. They're going to not, which makes no sense to me, because if you know you got a friend that has not yet shown up, why the hell are you putting your phones away when you know this person isn't here yet? But they put their phones away. So the one girl who shows up a little late, I can't remember if it's Mary or Tina. I can't remember. Maybe Charlene. I don't know. IMDb. Look at the names. But they show up late, and she pulls over and she's like calling, and she's like, "Hey, I'm lost. Where's this place at?" You know, and which on the other, I'm sitting there going, "Fuck, shitty ass friends, man. Like you got somebody that hadn't even made it to the party yet, and you're just like, oh, we're not gonna look at our phones." So that's what they do. Well, when she's trying to call them, she looks out in the woods, and there is Winnie the Pooh just staring her up. And she kind of makes it sound when they stand, Winnie the Pooh is like dead charging after her. So the one friend comes in late, the rest of the friends having a good time. Well, then you see later on that Winnie the Pooh has, taken Christopher Robin because, of course, they got him and Piglet got some hard feelings against Christopher Robin for running off and leaving them. So then, while he's got Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh is out strolling the woods one night. Well, he hears these girls having a good time, a little music playing. They're partying it up, enjoying their weekend. Well, Pooh goes and discovers these girls. Well, I'm assuming Pooh decides, hey, I got to go back and get Piglet, and they're just going to decide to go after these girls in the cabin. And like I said, I don't want to do a lot of spoilers. I got it. Sometimes we do spoilers. I will, because it's just, there's certain movies where it's unavoidable. You're going to have some to kind of, talk about the movie. I don't want to do a lot of spoilers for this one, but I'm just going to let you know that's kind of how the story goes. Once it gets to where Pooh and Piglet go after the group of girls, that's when it kind of amps up and a lot of shit starts going down as far as them. Of course, typical storyline. Girls get, well, I ain't gonna say typical because fuck, you ain't got Winnie the Pooh all the time in movies, but here we got some girls. Pooh and Piglet come after girls. Girls have to try to escape and all this good stuff. So that kind of is the storyline of how this thing's going to go. Cast on this one. Oh shit. It's a British one. They say the movie is. I don't know if all these actors and actresses are British. I don't know. But I have no issues with in the beginning. Well, fuck yeah, I do. Because some of them, I don't know if they it's just the roles they had to play. Some of them are not that great. The girls were okay. The girls who all go off to the party and live it up in the cabins, they're good. Christopher Robin's wife, Marie Taylor, bless your heart, you didn't last fucking long in this one. Spoiler, by the way. But Christopher Robin, Nikolai Leon, however you say his name. In the beginning, you're going to dislike. I disliked him in the beginning, especially when shit starts really popping off. And we'll talk about that because okay, here's where I'm just gonna be real. I don't do scripts. I don't have a bunch of notes written down. I don't, have a guideline of how I talk about movies. I like to talk about movies on this show the way I would if somebody was sitting next to me or across from me, just shooting the shit. And so, this movie for me, when it comes to the characters, I fucking hate some of them just because of how they are in the movie. Not that the actor may have been that fucking bad, but just the part he had to play in this movie. Christopher Robin in the beginning, whenever he's out there with his wife Maria and shit kicks off, I'm sitting there going, Christopher Robin, you're such a little fucking pussy. And you'll see it, watch the movie. Maybe you feel different. That's okay. But the cast, for the most part, with the girls who were out at the vacation, were good. No issues with their acting. They played their roles. But good God, there's going to come a part in this movie toward the end where they bring in a group of actors, and I'm not even mad at the actors. They had to play what was written. I got it, but they were basically I don't even want to try to say their names either. But it was basically a group of guys. There's one that's going to play Colt, Logan, Tucker, John, and Daryl. They're going to come in toward the end of this thing. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to waste your time, my time discussing that. I want you to watch it. Get to the part where you finally meet Cole, Logan, Tucker, John, and Daryl, and just fuck. That's all I want to say. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. Like I said, the cast did what the cast had to do. Cast goes out there and they play whatever's written, whatever they have to act. I got it. So when I say the cast, the actors and actresses did fine. Hold on one second, gentleman. Jack break. Thank you. But for the most part, they're fine. Like I said, a lot of times when it comes to the movies I like to talk about, you may have a dislike for an actor or an actress just because of the role they have to play in the movie. And so I get that. There's certain, actors and stuff that play a role in the movie, and from the get-go, you're like, oh, I hate him. You always have that, like, either the asshole guy or just this, a lady you just may not like. They're just playing that role. And they play that role well because you're supposed to dislike this person. You're supposed to not like this person. And so I'm not going to kick any of the until the end. Good God, let's go. Colt, Logan, Tucker, John, and Daryl. Just when you get to that point, you'll know what I'm talking about. The kills. Before I go into the kills here, I almost want to change it up a little bit, because if I change it, I want to change it because it's hard for me to talk about the kills and the cast when I talk about them, you're going to kind of know how I feel about the movie. And I usually like to give my rating at the end of it on whether or not I would fuck it, marry, or kill it. So the more if I sit here and talk about the cast and the kills and the way things went, you're automatically going to pick up on where I am, how I rate this movie. So I'm going to jump forward a little bit. All right. I hope y'all okay with that shit. We okay. We're gonna, no script here. We just jump on here and we talk horror movies. Um, this movie to me is a kill. It is a kill. And I'm saying that now just because before I start talking shit about it, when it comes to the cast and a lot of the kills and other stuff, let me get it out of the way now. This is a kill for me. This is a God, I was so excited for this one, people. Like, I'm a Winnie the Pooh fan. I grew up. I still remember a little stuffed animal, little beanbag Winnie the Pooh I had. I was a fan. And I had big hopes. I'm a horror fan. And when I seen, holy shit, I'm about to get my Winnie the Pooh and he's going to do some killing, like, I was excited. I was, with a movie this way, I was not expecting, you know, oh God, I'm not expecting Academy Award winning type acting. This fucking Winnie the Pooh killing people. I get that. But I feel like there could have been so much more. I feel like it could have been, I wanted more. Like when I've pictured Winnie the Pooh and you tell me blood and honey, I'm going to see this Pooh and them just going in, just slaughtering people. I'm a gore whore. I love gore movies. That's probably my favorite. And so for this one, I wanted to see that. And they just did not deliver. There was a couple, little bloody scenes here and there, and a couple like up close stuff, but it just didn't deliver for me. I was disappointed. And Christopher Robin, let me go back real quick to this little guy. In the beginning, when I told you him and his wife show up the 100-acre wood, when Piglet finally shows up, and Piglet wraps a chain around his wife's neck. Piglet goes in, like, as soon as they show up, there was no little meet and greet. There was no like, oh, little eye to eye contact before shit pops off. No, they standing there. Next thing you know, Maria got a chain around her neck, Piglet choking her out. And I'm just sitting there like, the whole time, Christopher Robin sitting off to the side, just yelling no. Like, Piglet, what are you doing? No, Piglet. I'm like, dude, like, your wife is getting strangled by a fucking pig, and you're just not doing nothing. You're sitting there just yelling like, Piglet, no, Piglet, what are you doing? And right then, I hated Christopher Robin. I wish nothing but bad things for him the rest of the movie. And so I wasn't mad when Pooh snatched him up, and strung him up and kind of kept him around for some torture. God, that just, it made no sense to me. And that's not the only time he does this. Christopher Robin toward the end will have another bitch moment where he just sits there and kind of yells like, oh, he annoyed me. But there was some kills. They had a couple of like, up close, like even sometime on some of the kills. Like there was one car drives over a girl's head. And even the aftermath of it, I feel like it could have been more. Like it could have been a little more. I don't know. I was just let down by this whole movie. Everything about it let me down. I was disappointed. I had high hopes on it. I was looking forward to it. As you can see in the background, I love horror movie posters. I collect them. Like behind me right now, Pearl X, the Serbian film. And if y'all know about horror, y'all know Serbian film. And yes, I enjoy that type of horror. I even bought, over here, you can't see it. I even bought Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey before I've ever seen it. I ordered it. I already got it on my wall. I was excited that Winnie the Pooh, my main man Winnie, was going to fuck some people up in the movie and do some killing. But holy shit. Nothing about it was, I never want to watch it again. Never. And I was looking forward to it so much. This is what I did. When you go on Amazon Prime, you can rent or buy. And this isn't the first time my ass got suckered. I bought the movie because I thought to myself, I enjoyed it so much as a kid. I think I'm going to enjoy this. I bought it. I could have rented it for $9.99 or $6.99, whatever the hell it was. I spent the $24 or whatever dollars or $20, and I bought it, thinking to myself, this was at least gonna be a fuck for me. This is one of them I'm gonna at least start up one day. I'm gonna watch it. Hold on, pause, podcast people, gentlemen, Jack break, and thank you. But I was so looking forward to this one from the time I seen the first, picture of it. I never went and watched any trailers on it. I'm not a fan of watching, especially new movies that come out. Certain ones I'll watch a trailer on, but like ones that come out, I really don't get into it because there's so many trailers. I don't like to watch it because a lot of times the trailers give you all the highlights and you miss out on, that surprise or whatever comes from watching it. So with the Winnie the Pooh movie, I watched no trailers. I was just waiting on it to get to watch it, looking forward to it as the little Jay back in the day playing with a little beanbag Winnie the Pooh. Here it is, my little toy as a kid is now all grown, and he's gonna fuck some people up. And I was okay with it and looking forward to it. And good man, I was fucking let down. This one had potential. I feel like there was so much it could have been done. I don't know budgets. I don't get in there and do all that type of research stuff. But man, it could have just been so much more. I wanted more. I wanted more killing. They didn't give me enough of the killing. Like there was some kills. If I had to pick a kill throughout this whole thing, and I like a kill that kind of gives me a like when it happens, you're just kind of sitting there like, oh shit. And there's one part like where they're in this swimming pool at this nice ass cabin they're staying at, where Piglet is coming after some old girl. I can't remember her name, but he's in the pool going after her. And he's got his sledgehammer. Piglet drags around a fucking sledgehammer most of the movie. And he's going after her. And while he's in the water, he just gradually swinging this sledgehammer at her while coming towards her in the water. And the one part when he finally makes contact with her, and it shows it as like a distance. The camera kind of draws back, and he swings this thing like a bat, and it pops her upside the head. And that to me was a kind of a cool kill, because I was expecting he was eventually going to hit her, but I was like, when she was in water and he just like slings the hammer, I think he's going to kind of hit her and knock her underwater. But no, he baseball bats it and pops her right upside the head, which was kind of cool. There was I guess that kill was probably my favorite out of them. They had I mentioned earlier where they rolled over this one chick's head. And the crazy part about it is there's certain parts of the movie that make no sense to me. And maybe it wasn't supposed to. Maybe I just looked at it too deep. And I'm not the type that likes to look at a horror movie too damn deep. I don't get in the weeds. I just enjoy horror movies. And so I don't look into a lot of shit. Like some people like to get into the weeds and dig really deep. I'm not a deep person. So I'm just kind of like just watching it. Well, then the part where I mentioned earlier that they roll over this chick's head. They're all inside the cabin. They grab this old girl out of a hot tub and drag her out into like the driveway. It looks like the driveway to me. They tie her up in one of them almost like sexual positions. Y'all freaks out there know what I'm talking about, a little bondage, I'm down with it. But they have her laying on the ground. And then you hear this car, like Winnie the Pooh is in this car. And he's like revving this thing up. And at first thought, when you kind of look at the headlights, I honestly thought it was like a Dodge Charger or Challenger or whatever. He's like revving this thing up super loud. And I'm sitting there going, the girls in the house have to hear this. Like, they got to hear this car outside just revving up. But no, they don't hear it. This car like literally drives over. Pooh and Piglet get their shit, dip out. Then finally the girls come out and discover this this body laying there, just head all smashed. And I'm just like, God, certain things of it just really just fell short for me. I never want to watch this thing again. Never. And unfortunately, I have purchased it on Amazon Prime. And if anybody out there knows that there's a way I can do a return, like if I keep the receipt, can I bring this shit back and exchange it? Like, does Amazon Prime, do you allow this? Let me know. But yeah, total letdown. That's for me. That is for me. 100% a kill for Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. I almost fucked that up. But hey, gentleman Jack break. Thank you. But it is it is a kill for me. Not if I was so let down, so looking forward to this movie. And when I finally watched it, it was just and then the ending of it. I don't want to be a spoiler. I said I wasn't going to spoil it, and I don't try to give out spoilers. But the ending, when they bring in, as bad as it was up to the point where they bring in Colt, Logan, Tucker, John, and Daryl, these fucking hillbillies that decide they're going to damn defend the ladies. They're going to defend them and try to fight off fucking Pooh. And I don't know if it was the acting or just the way they wanted them to do it, but oh my God, it went downhill. Like I was sitting there with Jess, who's my wife. She was watching it with me. And as soon as that part hit, like she looks at me and goes, this is a fucking kill. And it was like that one part. I don't know what was so bad. It was just terrible. The way they're talking to him, the way that the stuff they're doing, it is so bad. So yeah, it was just God, it sucked. I don't know, I remember growing up, my mom was the type sometimes she used to use the phrase a lot, oh, bless his heart. Anytime I heard my mama say bless his heart, it was almost a way of saying she felt sorry for something. Like anytime you see like a baby, you look at it and that little fucking baby's ugly, you be like, oh, bless his heart. I heard my mama do it. Bless his heart was just a nice way of saying, what the fuck? And that's the way I kind of felt toward Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Oh, bless his heart. It was fucking ugly. It was not good. And I kill it. Never want to watch it again. I'm going to delete it off my Amazon whatever purchase list. But that's me personally. I was not a fan of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Such high hopes. A fan of Winnie the Pooh. Grew up watching it. Loved Winnie the Pooh. Loved some Tigger. Loved the rabbit. Loved it all. But then you had to come and give me this pile of shit. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And just stomped all over my little Winnie the Pooh ways. God, fuck, I hated this movie. Never again. Man, if I don't know what else to say about it. It was just so bad. I feel like it could have been so much more. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I had high expectations for something that I should have known better. Maybe I should have known better. Like, dude, you're talking about Winnie the Pooh. Maybe it's my fault for having such high hopes, but I did have some high hopes for this one, and it fell so short, so short. So yeah, that is my take on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, 2023. But like I said, I told you in the beginning, and I'll tell every episode that me and John did before till now, I will tell you, do not let my rating of this, from me saying it fucking sucked, don't let that turn you away from going to watch it. Because I love horror movies. And I'll tell anybody, go watch it. Yeah, I said it sucked, but at least I can say I watched it. I'll tell anybody, go watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Make your own decision. Don't make decisions on what I say, because I'm not even the type, I don't even like to read movie ratings. Like when you go to like IMDb or these other pages and there's like ratings that people give, I don't like to read those, because no matter what you try to do and you read that, it's automatically may tell you like, oh, I'm not going to like it, So make your own judgment on it. I don't like to read the reviews, and maybe some people may be like to say, well, you're fucking doing the same thing with the podcast. Okay, got it. Like I said, I'm not here to get a huge ass following. I know I enjoy being here. I enjoy talking on this podcast, because I love horror movies. I love talking about them. I love talking about horror movies in a way that if I were sitting down next to you, having a gentleman jack, and us just shooting the shit back and forth talking about a horror movie. That's why I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the movies and talking about them. So go check out Blood and Honey. Let me know how you feel about it. Email me. I'm in Gmail, frightflickfmk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter, frightflickfmk. We are on Instagram at frightflickfmk. Facebook, frightflickfmk. We're on all of those. So yeah, stop by, give us a like, give us a listen, give us a review. I get it. 5 stars is good, but if you come across this show and you say this is a fucking 1 star, hey, that's your opinion. I got thick skin. Doesn't bother me. I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. But, at least give it a listen. Give us a try. See what you think. Yeah, so that's just going to pretty much do it. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It is a 100% kill. Like, Winnie the Pooh, put your teeth on the curb and let me stomp you in the back of the head type of kill. No. It's a kill for me. All you horror movie loving freaks like me, it's a kill. But hey, I was a gentleman jack break right there. I appreciate it. Thank you. But hey, this is going to do it for this week's episode. Triple FMK. Fright, Flick, Fuck, Marry, Kill. Hey, like I said earlier, subscribe to the social media if you like it. Give us a like, comment, follow, review. Let me know in the comments. Email me. Hit me a message up at Instagram, Facebook. I don't care. Let me know what you thought of this movie. I like hearing other people's opinions. I'm simple-minded as far as I don't get into weeds on a lot of stuff. So let me know what your thoughts are on it. I want to hear it. If you want to talk shit to me, that's fine too. Like I said, thick skin, I welcome it. I like a little shit talking back and forth. But hey, I appreciate the ones who listened to last week's episode. I appreciate the ones who either liked, subscribed, or followed. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I love horror movies. I just want to be able to get on here, talk about horror movies, and I enjoy being here. I enjoy doing this. So hey, I appreciate it. But I want to know, let me know in the comment section how you would rate Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But like last week, no matter what, no matter if you would fuck it, marry it, or kill it, always, and look at me, people, always remember the wise words of Randy from Scream.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.